Hi everyone. So this is part 3, okay, from the chapter on biological molecules. In this video, I'll be talking about the nutrient known as fats. Now from the syllabus, right, you need to know the chemical elements that makes up fats, okay? You also need to know that among the main roles of fats, okay, these two are listed in the syllabus. So fats is used for insulation and for long-term storage of energy. And finally, right, you need to know that fat is a large molecule and they are made from two smaller molecules, okay, known as glycerol and fatty acids. So let's begin, okay? Fat is a type of lipid. So they are considered organic, okay? So it's an organic molecule and they are made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. However, even though they are similar in terms of elements to carbohydrate, the proportion, right, of oxygen to hydrogen is much lower. Okay, so for example, right, beef fat, you can see there is C57, H110, and O6. You can see, right, that the oxygen is much lesser than the hydrogen. Okay, and it is not in the 2:1 ratio. If it's not in the 2:1 ratio, it is not a carbohydrate. So one fat molecule, right, is broken down into 3 fatty acid molecules and one glycerol molecule. Okay, so this is a fat molecule. This is a very typical symbol of a fat molecule. Okay, and you can see from this symbolic form of a fat molecule, right, it is made out of one glycerol molecule and 3 fatty acid molecules. Okay, so remember this, it comes out all the time, okay, and it's actually pretty simple. All right. Fats are insoluble in water, okay. However, they can dissolve in other organic solvents, and one of the example of an organic solvent is alcohol or ethanol. Okay, there are two types of fats, mainly saturated fats and non-saturated. Okay, saturated fats, right, are found mostly in animals. Okay, they are solid at room temperature. All right, if you have a chance to look at the saturated fat, right, from animal tissue, it is not liquid, it is actually solid. On the other hand, there is unsaturated fats, and unsaturated fats are found mostly in plants, okay? Mostly, yeah, not all. And unsaturated fats, right, are actually liquid at room temperature, okay? So some examples of fat-based foods is butter, you have cheese, you have meat, and you have seeds and nuts. Okay, so they're generally food substances that contains fats. So let's move on to the function of fats. Okay, so this is important. They are a rich source of energy. Okay, so carbohydrates, right, which I mentioned earlier in the other video, they are also a source of energy. However, they are not as rich as fats. Okay, the amount of energy given out, right, when they are being broken down, if you want to compare fats to carbohydrate, right, fats release more energy, okay, much more. And fats are also considered long-term storage of energy. Okay, carbohydrates they are considered storage of energy, but they are not really used for long term. Okay, so this phrase, right, this the first bullet that I'm actually elaborating right now. Okay, you when you write, right, please be careful on how you write it, because if you write it in a very slipshody way, it might be interpreted as carbohydrates. Okay, so they have higher energy value, which I already mentioned, right? They have higher energy value than carbohydrates. Okay, fats is used as an insulating material. Okay, and this insulating material, right, will prevent excessive heat loss. For example, the fats under your skin. Okay, so the thick layer of fats under the skin, right, is used as an insulating material. Fat is also used as a solvent for fat-soluble vitamins and some hormones. You might not know some of the fat-soluble vitamins because they are not in the syllabus. Vitamin D is one of them. Okay, but some vitamins cannot dissolve in water, and some hormones, right, which you will learn later, cannot dissolve in water. Okay, but they can dissolve in fats. So that is the reason why the third bullet talks about the solvent, because not everything can dissolve in water. Now this is very important. Okay, I should put this as number one. All right, but this is one of my favorite function of fats, and I think it is important to write down as a function if the question asks for it. Okay, fats is essential in the formation of cell membrane. When you study higher biology in future, right, you realize that cell membranes are made out of fats and carbohydrates. Okay, so fats is actually quite an important contributor to the formation of cell membrane. So this is the end. Okay, this video is just talking about fats. It's pretty short, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.